Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a continuation of Early Mornings LALATE. Thank you for joining me. It's a 6:30 edition at the bottom of the hour. Big news today on top of a presidential election and a congressional election. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to stay focused because you know the false narratives are going to be left and right. And the question is, as soon as this election is over, potentially today, if we hope so, then will the focus be even louder on stimulus? All indications are it will. This is Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a continuation of Early Mornings LALATE, the 6:30 a.m. edition. I'm so glad you're here. This is the easy breezy light edition of stimulus. I keep it very simple, financial news, and all very lighthearted. If you've not gotten that coffee going, get it going. I'll be here, and just check back on me. I won't be going anywhere. I'm locked at this table all day long today. It's just shares, Kansas delegates reporting news in 4 minutes I'm just not looking forward to this. But it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. If you've not gone to the front of the channel, subscribe because we're going to have a lot of changes come into this channel. No, I'm not doing Nancy Pelosi's hairstyle, but there's a lot of changes coming to this channel. So programming blocks are going to be a little bit different. So I don't want you to miss a show. So make sure you hit that alert button on the front of the channel as well. Meantime, like the video because it's really helping. All the videos were ranking yesterday. Boy, we were 1, 3, 5. We like the odd numbers. I don't know why, but all really great news. Oh! And if you're new to Early Mornings LLA, look over there. Look over there. No, not that presidential ad that's around the corner. It is the super chat. This is an instant premiere. I don't know if you like your coffee instant, but this is an instant premiere. This is an instant premiere that features a live chat. So you can chat on the right, chat whether you voted, chat whether you didn't vote, who did you vote for, and say hello to your Purple Power buddies. It's an instant premiere, so if you're tuning in at 6:30 a.m., this live chat and super chat will continue throughout the entire recording. So make sure you get that final word in before I say goodbye, and then the chat stops. Really a lot of fun, and I really am so happy you joined me here this morning. All right, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that even going into today, insiders really just don't know what's going to happen. And what's important to understand, and I've said it before, but I want to make it very clear on election day, that the results of tonight are ostensibly not going to impact your stimulus too much. That's the first one. And second one is that you're going to hear a lot of false predictors after the results come in that say, oh, because this happened, hence this is going to happen. I got to tell you, it's not going to happen. If there's one people you got to rely upon for predictions, it's Wall Street. And Wall Street has absolutely been adamant in the last 3 days it's going to be stimulus pass, it's going to be big stimulus, and it's coming right away. The only thing that they're a little bit concerned about is that third stimulus that covers you from December to March. They're a little worried about that. So where are we covered and where are we not covered? First, they are very adamant stimulus is coming. They are very adamant that stimulus that's covering you from May to the present is coming, and that would be checks, FPUC, hazard pay, well, hopefully hazard pay, rent, eviction moratoriums, mortgage forbearance, grants, frontline worker grants, food, stuff for testing and tracing, kids, all that type of stuff is coming. They're absolutely positive it's coming. So I don't want you to think it's not coming. It is coming. That's the first thing to say. Second is the second period, we're not particularly clear where these people are going to wake up when they're going to wake up, and that's Congress, because there is no stimulus package being written or even cared about by these people from December to March. I mean, hello, COVID-19 cases are 110,000 cases or 100,000 cases a day. The numbers are out of control. El Paso's at 160% growth per day on positivity rates. 3 cities are now on curfews. If you watched the video before this, Chicago, Newark, and El Paso. And none of these politicians have thought to write a third stimulus package because their second stimulus package, all the deal provisions expire in December and January, mostly in December. So wait a second, no one's supposed to have unemployment assistance in January. No one's supposed to have eviction moratoriums in January. No one's supposed to have stimulus checks in January. It's like, hello. And we already know that the therapeutics for the virus and the vaccines for the virus are not going to be a mass quantity of distributions by January. They're not even positive they're going to get approved by December. They're hoping they're getting approved in December and that they're rolling out in some, emergency end of a life situation. But for the vast majority of us, so low, send a messenger to the Temple Do and say, hey, here's a pen, and here's a pad of paper. Start writing. You're paid to write. Go write. As she once said, we're legislators. You would surprise me. I had no real idea that you were a legislator because you don't write that often. Lockdowns are really going to get tense in this country. And what I want you to do, if you did not watch the Purple Power video from Monday night, please watch it. It's a video that had a personal message that talked about the stress and anxiety and the depression that comes with the holidays normally. But because we have holidays with COVID, that. And then we have stimulus stress on top of that. So there's a lot of stress that could potentially come out there. And this channel's all about positivity. And I want you to get through that. And I want to explain something in that context. Boris Johnson, the PM out of England, yesterday says, I'm not going to apologize for announcing lockdowns. We have to do that. I'm absolutely not making no apology whatsoever for doing my level best. Our level best at the government is to avoid going back on a national lockdown. What's important to understand is that, he was under fire. And I saw an article in Illinois, but it couldn't come up because it was like the site didn't work, that people were already trying to slam the Chicago decision for curfews. So you see that sort of tension already building. Retail sale numbers were out yesterday, and these were from the Monthly Economic Review. And retail sales rose 1.9% in September, higher than economists at the Dow Jones expected. So that's a good number. Clothing and accessories jumped 11%, while sporting goods, music, and books grew 5.7%. What I want you to understand with these numbers is that these are basically lockdown plays. I don't want you to think that the economy is doing well on a retail basis, because most of these retail jumps were for sporting wear type of businesses, because these are people who are at home. They don't have a gym to go to. They have no place to work out. They have to stay in their home and stay fit. But ultimately, these numbers said, hey, they're going to get bad again. The analyst that was cited by CNBC said that the numbers are threatened by the number of COVID-19 cases. Now a 7-day average is 81,335. That's up to 18% a week ago. Now it's 110. This article is based upon a little bit older data. While there may be sufficient momentum and resilience to propel the economy at the month ahead, additional fiscal support, that's stimulus, is critical to ensure the economy recovery doesn't stall. So it's basically saying, hey, some people had some money to buy some shoes, but this ain't going to continue. You need some stimulus out there, and we don't have stimulus for shoes. Shoes for stimulus. No. That's not the hashtag of this channel. No. Jordans for, no, we're not doing that. But this week will be confusing. As Jim Cramer said, recently, I expect massive confusion. This is going to be my most confusing week of my life. Actually, one of the most confusing weeks of my career. I just love that quote every time I see it. What's important to understand is that the uncertainty in the markets will be seen in the pre-trading hours, and as the market opens today, as the market has opened today, let me phrase that again, you're going to see a lot of volatility, because Sunday, for example, the pre-market trading was down 150, then market opened flat, then a little bit up, then went to 400, then pulled back. But the number that I want you to focus on, because I love how you just eat up information, because that's the purpose of this channel, information, is the bond number. The bond number I want you to follow bond traders have said emphatically that stimulus is coming and that you're going to see the stimulus coming by the bond number trading up. The bond numbers are treasury yield, the 30-year treasury yield. And because bonds are needed for paying off stimulus, not you paying off stimulus, that when the Federal Reserve issues stimulus, they have to finance it. And so they do it by bonds and then you'll see the bond numbers go up because of debt. And so understand two things. One, if it doesn't go up and it's flat, doesn't mean that there's no stimulus. And if it's going down, doesn't mean you're having to pay back the stimulus. Doesn't mean that either. It's just that when it goes up, the bond traders are now saying, this means stimulus is sort of roaring its head and getting ready. Remember, Wall Street trades on the anticipation of the news before the news hits, not after the news hits. And so what's important to understand is that, last week, Wall Street was pushing for second stimulus. This week, they're still pushing for second stimulus. They are still embedding the anticipation of it coming in a big regard. Then they're also pushing for third stimulus or lockdown stimulus. And that is still embedded in what you see the trading of the market. Now, what they have already embedded on, and they're potentially not modifying anymore, is election uncertainty, COVID-19 cases at about where we are now, presumably it doesn't get any worse, and then contested elections. They've already embedded the risk assessments of those issues. So the good news, to make it very simple for you, is that they're now looking at really just stimulus. Stimulus is really the indicator, and any massive spike in COVID-19 cases is where they're focusing their attention on. As one viewer dropped in a few videos yesterday, the same comment, but it's a great comment. It says, when we shout, Congress doesn't hear us. When Wall Street shouts, they do hear us. Well, guess what? Because most of those people in Congress are paid by Wall Street executives to get elected. Joe Biden got an enormous amount of money for his campaign. You know, I said in recent days I don't care so much about the polls, and you know, I still don't. But what's important to understand is tonight, when you watch the election results here, it's important to understand that the Senate races are the most important for you. And I don't mean Mitch. If Mitch comes back, and which he's expected to come back, that means much of nothing. What matters is whether the Senate becomes Democratic or stays Republican, because that is the indicator of the path for your stimulus relief. Whether it's President Trump or President Biden, they both will give you stimulus. There's no disputing that. They're both going to sign off on stimulus. The question is whether it's going to get to them, because stimulus has to start in the House and then go to the Senate and then go to the presidency. And if it stalls in the Senate because the Senate wants to manipulate the language and change it up, then it may not ever get to the president, or it may get delayed. Now, you got that. You got that with me. So one, Mitch winning or losing is not an issue. Two, the president winning or losing is not really the issue. The big issue is the Senate. So then with that Senate, I want you to hear me very loud and clear. Hopefully you stay to the 13-minute mark of this video. Is that if the Senate it goes Democratic tonight, I don't want you to think that that means something is going to happen. A is going to happen or B is going to happen. And that if it stays Republican, I don't want you to think that it's going to be C or D. There's too many factors involved with this to say, I'm going to sit back and put my feet up and tell you that I can predict, because the Senate is remaining Republican, this is going to happen with your stimulus check. We just don't know that. Maybe we'll know this in a few days, but we don't know that tonight. Finally, some polls. I mean, everyone wants to some polls. Let's look at some polls and maybe have a laugh tomorrow because the polls were so wrong, or maybe have a laugh because the polls were so right. So let's see what these polls said. Arizona. Maybe you got a pen and paper. Let's see if these polls are right tomorrow morning. Arizona says Biden will take it because he's up 3 percentage points. Florida says Biden will take it because he's up 3 percentage points. Michigan says Biden will take it because he's up 7 percentage points. North Carolina says Biden will take it because he's up 2 percentage points. Pennsylvania says Biden will take it because he's up 4 percentage points. Wisconsin says Biden will take it because he's up almost 8 percentage points. Another poll that came out last night that said that Trump was holding in 2 states and the remaining states were very close within the margin of error. So let's keep that in the back of our mind. And let's check in tomorrow morning at the same time and let's see. Okay, so here was these polls. Remember, these are not my polls. I didn't conduct the polls. So don't say I wrote the poll. You said that. No, I did not conduct the polls. I just read you the polls from someone else. Remember, the toast is toast and the butter is butter, but the polls are not posted. If you've not subscribed, go to the first channel, subscribe. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a lot of fun today. I don't know what the programming schedule is yet. You can tell I have not announced it because I can't figure out what it is. And also like this video. Make sure you subscribe and like this video. Coming up next is Morning to LA at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay in LA for more.